And long way after the Patriots traded back twice. Jared Wilson, center out of Georgia, 6'3", 310. Ran a 4.84 fastest 40-yard dash for any offensive lineman at this year's combine. Long wingspan, 90th percentile in the vertical, 95th percentile in the broad jump.
Great athlete.
Explosive, good athlete. Surprising enough, though, with this build, moves well laterally, really good on the second level, but better in pass pro than he is in run blocking. But with Garrett Bradbury there, like, he doesn't have to be that instant starter right away. He could challenge for snaps, but this is wait and develop. The big thing, though, with Jared Wilson, high character.
Yeah.
Just checks the box of everyone that Mike Vrabel's bringing in. That's what they're going with the route. It's what they did when they go with a Will Campbell first, obviously with all the culture and everything that he brings in. It's what they go with the route of a Travion Henderson, adding home run hitting ability, Kyle Williams, good culture, Jared Wilson. And that's two guys in the offensive line. Like, that's where he wants the leadership to come from. It comes from the offensive line. It comes from the guys up front.
Yep.
This is also a guy that, when he was at UGA, 1 year starter there. That's it. Just 1 year, but was second team all SEC. He blocked in a zone and gap scheme, so multiple run variations is what UGA went with, what Georgia went with, Mike Bobo's scheme. Is okay pick. Seth McLaughlin would have been there later. Coming off a torn Achilles would be tough, but again, Garrett Bradbury, Drew Kendall out of BC would have been there later. Again, how the board looks, and I'm honestly perplexed by this draft with what some teams are doing, like the Browns, but it's the Browns.
Charles Grant at tackle was still on the board, too. That's who I wanted.
And that's a big man. That's a big left tackle. And exactly, that's one route they could go. Or they go with a good interior offensive lineman like Marcus Mbu.
Right.
Or maybe a Miles Frazier. And I'm also just thinking when the edge rushers that were there when they did pick as well, Baron Sorrell, Kyle Kennard. Kennard would be that third down pass rush specialist. To me, he's the next Zadarius Smith of the NFL in that type of scheme. Zadarius Smith, who Terrell Williams coached. Now, maybe they get them later. Again, that's the thing with the draft. We're reacting right away and how the board falls.
Yeah.
I just don't love a center at this spot. Jalen Royals is there. Alec Oyominor. Get more pass catchers. Get more bodies. Like, you're ready to move past Kayshon Boutte. All right, what are you doing, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker? Like, you need to accrue bodies. And even they still need a nickel corner.
Yeah.
I know that Jacob Parrish was off the board by the time, but he was there, and that's something that they said they needed. Why not trade back and just take a Jacob Parrish? So this is an interesting pick. Don't love, don't hate. It's centers. Good in pass pro. You know what? That's good. Moves well laterally. They say, in the scouting reports I do read and watching a little bit of them, moves like a tight end trapped in a bigger guy's body. Pass protection was terrible for the Patriots. So it's a good piece to bring in. It's just, the price. I don't love the price.
I'm probably going to surprise you here because I actually like the pick. I think everything you said about culture and character and all these draft picks makes a lot of sense. And I think that matters. But I think schematically as well, I sort of get what they're doing here. And we talked about this earlier. Here on day 2, they went explosion, okay? They wanted explosive playmakers. So you got that. You got that at the wide receiver position. You got that at the running back position.
Yeah.
I think this was about protection. And it's what I was telling you. I mean, that's why I wanted Charles Grant at the tackle, but they went center instead, which is fine going here with Wilson. But in the end, It was, okay, we want to get some explosive players in here for some big splashy plays, some home run hitters, so to speak. But it all has to come back to we can't get the explosive plays. We can't make these splashy plays, these chunk yardage plays without protecting Drake May.
Yes.
And that's what this pick was about. So I'm fine with it. Again, I am sick and tired of talking offensive linemen, but in the end, it's where you're the weakest, and I'm glad they did address it. I would have gone in different directions in terms of players, but I at least am glad that they are addressing the offensive line. So it makes sense to me, George, schematically.
Yeah, it's also interesting. Tate Ratledge went, I'm pretty sure Dylan Fairchild was picked as well. I could be wrong, but all 3 interior offensive linemen for Georgia now in the NFL. And if Dylan Fairchild wasn't picked, I'm looking through the picks all again. It's been a long night, folks.
There you go.
If he is picked as well, though, that says a lot about Georgia's interior offensive line. So many schools with good offensive lines all around, but all of them, I think, one day will be starters in the NFL. Yeah, it's not. This is the one. It's tough to get excited over centers. Again, this is and I said it yesterday. Drake May's the steak. Will Campbell's the asparagus.
Yep.
You got a little taste of dessert. Travion Henderson, Kyle Williams, Jared Wilson, taking him with this pick at this spot after trading back twice. That's another side of get your veggies in. You got to eat your veggies before you have fun and party and drink your beer and have your dessert.
Now I know you took shots at the Browns here with their draft.
It's like you passed up so you pass up on Travis Hunter, and it's necessary.
I didn't know this was going to trigger you.
And you get 2 seconds, 2/3. And you get a future pick as well.
Yes.
And I know Andrew Berry in the front office is looking at the Haslams and going, you made us deal with Deshaun Watson and ruin that roster we built up.
Right.
We're going to make you deal with the rebuild.
Yep.
Good? Awesome.
Yep.
So they go Mason Graham, which is fine. Best available at 5. I think
I
that's
get
great.
it. No problem.
Then you go off-ball linebacker, but I know Jeremiah Wusu-Koromora, his future is murky.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Judkins, deep running back draft.
I like him.
Harold Fannin Jr., a funky running tight end. And then you go Dylan Gabriel at the 3rd.
That's where
He would have been there in the 5th.
Yeah.
You went a left-handed quarterback.
He might have been there later.
That is undersized.
Yeah.
Doesn't have great arm. Doesn't do anything exceptional. Yeah, good IQ. Yeah, sure, leader. But, what is this?
Yeah.
How,
it's the Browns.
How do you just not... I would go premium
after
premium position in a rebuild, or I would simply go best available, either or. That's what perplexed me with
all the Browns, George. It's what they do. But
they draft well. They draft well. That's what boggles my mind about this.
Yeah, but
Jalen Royals is there. You need receivers.
In the end, Browns are going to Browns. Jets are going to Jets. Raiders are going to Raiders. We know the rest of it. Here's why I brought it up. I was going to go the opposite. I was going to go at a team that jumped out to me in day 2.
Yeah.
I actually think the Texans, in a lot of ways, maybe have won this draft. I mean, to get Higgins and Ursery in the 2nd round, Noel in the 3rd, all players that I wanted the Patriots to get. We talked about this earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Texans, and my mind is blown at what they've done in day 2. That team, to me, I like the Patriots draft, but that team, to me, the Texans, have really stood out. I think they have had they have had a stellar draft.
Yeah, I also, Bengals took Dylan Fairchild, so there you go, all 3 interior offensive linemen. Chicago, Colson Loveland, Luther Burden, Ozzie Trapillo out of BC.
Yes.
And Shamar Turner.
Yes.
Better in the trenches, better for Caleb Williams. I just love what the New York Giants did. Mm-hmm. You stick and pick Abdul Carter, trade back and get your QB of the future, and then you take Darius Alexander. You have Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and then you're throwing in Abdul Carter and Darius Alexander. That's wave after wave after wave after wave after wave after wave getting punched in the mouth by a defensive line. Great draft by the Giants. They need to get better on the back end.
Yes.
But their defensive line got deeper, and you help out poor cornerback play by having a great
Well, they
pass
were
rush.
already good on the defensive line, and now you just got a lot better.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. I still think, though, I can't give the Giants any props at all. That's a team, they should have taken Shedeur Sanders, and for them to take Jackson Dart is stupid. And every team that has passed up on Shedeur Sanders should be ashamed of themselves. This is so clear to me now. At first, I thought, okay, 1st round, I get it. But 2nd round, 3rd round, I mean, listen, it is so clear to me that there is collusion here. It is so clear to me that there is a hit out for this kid. Is it because of the kid's cockiness? Is it because he didn't test well in the meetings and all that? Is it because of his father? I don't really know. I don't really care. I mean, I've watched this league for years, just like you have, George. We watch every Sunday together for the past few seasons. This quarterback play in this league is putrid for some of these teams. You cannot tell me Shedeur Sanders, a kid who has gone to 2 different programs on the collegiate level and turned them around in complete rebuilds. I mean, Jackson State and Colorado were S shows before him and his dad showed up. And the kid, I get it, he didn't win a natty, but the kid, we watch the games, he can play. He won games. He had some of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen. He was still making plays. They were winning games, close, clutch games because of some of the plays that Shedeur Sanders made. You don't like his antics, fine. But to keep him out of this league is ridiculous. You cannot tell me a Dylan Gabriel and a Jalen Milroe and all this nonsense, please. This is collusion. And it's not like we haven't seen it in this league before, and it's not like we haven't seen it at that position, and it's certainly not like we haven't seen it with a black quarterback. It is ridiculous what the NFL is doing with Shedeur Sanders. My only hope is that he does get drafted some damn where and gets a chance. And I hope that chip on his shoulder is now a freaking boulder and he could show people he belongs in the league. Because that's really what this is about, George.
Yeah.
He belongs in the league.
No, he definitely does. He's a better prospect than Dylan Gabriel and Jalen Milroe, that's for sure. Unless the upside on Jalen Milroe's next Taysom Hill, like fine by that. When Dylan Gabriel got picked, it was multifaceted of like, why are you picking him there? And how is he going over Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders in a West Coast system, like if he lands with the Rams and is able to sit and develop for a year and pick up the playbook, is fine. What jumps out to me is that, all right, he interviewed poorly. Cool. We know the guy is cocky, just like his dad. That's fine. Sure. But when it's the poor whiteboard, which is basically you get up in front of the team, they give you the play calls, and you got to basically map out what you do here in the decision making. He always played in a very simple offense in college, both at Jackson State and at Colorado. Drop back, Travis Hunter there, boom, hit him. And he played okay off script, developed bad habits, but had consistent accuracy, good base, and can throw from multiple arm angles, flip his hips, would make pro-level throws in everything he can do in his system playing off script. But when he's performing bad at the whiteboard, you know whose fault that is? His head coach in college, which was his dad. And that's what I come back to, where you don't like the way he's carrying himself and he's coming in with a big ego and he's full of himself. That's also a product of the parents and the upbringing, but also the poor whiteboard. At least if he has the IQ to overcome that and you go, cool, he's really smart. But if you can't perform well on the whiteboard, well, who is giving you the offensive coordinators you played for? So, yeah, it's interesting. They're making a statement. Like the NFL, GMs, front offices, they're saying something to Dion. That's what they're saying with this. And unfortunately, Shedeur has to deal with what his dad laid out for him, I think, in all of this.
I mean, that's a shame, too. Look at what Deion Sanders has done for the NFL and what the NFL has done for Deion Sanders. I just think, honestly, I'm disgusted by how this has played out. You cannot convince me that this kid's talent is not worthy of being at least a day 2 pick. It's just ridiculous.
In a market like New York, I don't think he would work. I just think it's New York, man. Lights are too bright. In Cleveland, they're taking their medicine, and they're tanking for next year quarterback draft. They got 2 firsts.
They're taking for Arch.
But for Vegas with the Tom Brady ties, that's the red flag.
Yeah.
Very close with that family.
That's right.
And that's what surprised me with all of this.
They need a quarterback.
I'm wondering. They need one.
Yep.
They need one, and they could have had him twice at the end of the third.
There's no way to shape it where it makes sense to me. It's just ridiculous.
It's interesting. We'll see if he's drafted. He should be. Will Howard, Quinn Ewers, if they go, Shedeur Sanders has to be drafted at that point.